So friends, as the Trump-inspired threats continue to pour in, are the courts finally ready to put a stop to Donald Trump's dangerous rhetoric? Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, the Trump gag order battle rages on, unabated, over the Thanksgiving holiday. On Thanksgiving Day, Special Counsel Jack Smith filed with the appellate court in Washington, D.C., a notice of what has been going on up in New York in connection with Trump's New York fraud case, where Donald Trump continues to attack the presiding judge, Judge Engoron, where Trump continues to attack the judge's law clerk, and vile, vulgar, racist, and dangerous threats pour in from Donald Trump's supporters, from his dutiful foot soldiers, as a result of the attacks by Donald Trump. Let's start with the new reporting. This from The Independent. Headline: Trump's fraud trial court flooded with credible death threats and anti-Semitic abuse. And that article begins, a flood of credible death threats and anti-Semitic messages have inundated the judge and court staff overseeing Donald Trump's fraud trial in New York, according to the court's top public safety officer. Judge Arthur Engoron and his clerk received hundreds of threats, disparaging and harassing comments, and anti-Semitic messages that followed the former president's harassment, according to a court filing to support a gag order that blocks Mr. Trump from attacking the court's staff. Transcriptions of threatening voicemails after Mr. Trump first targeted Judge Engoron's chief clerk fill more than 275 single-spaced pages, according to Wednesday's filing. The threats against them are serious and credible, and not hypothetical or speculative, according to the court filing from Charles Holan, an officer captain with the court's Department of Public Safety assigned to a judicial threats unit. Now, that court filing up in New York was made the day before Thanksgiving, and the very next day, Special Counsel Jack Smith took that New York court filing and filed it in the appellate court in Washington, D.C., that recently heard oral arguments on the constitutionality of the Trump gag order down in D.C. Here is part of the letter that Jack Smith wrote to the appellate court when it filed this New York court pleading. The government, meaning the prosecutor, the government submits this letter pursuant to Federal Rule of Appellate Procedure 28J to notify the court of a document filed in the New York case, New York versus Trump et al., arising out of an incident that the district court discussed at the October 16, 2023 hearing. That was the appellate court hearing in Washington, D.C., about Judge Chutkan's gag order that she imposed on Donald Trump. The attached affidavit is a sworn affirmation by an employee of the New York State Unified Court System assigned to the Judicial Threats Assessment Unit, discussing the defendants, that would be Donald Trump's, October 3rd, 2023 social media post, which resulted in hundreds of threatening and harassing voicemail messages that have been transcribed into over 275 single-spaced pages. Now, friends, Donald Trump's lawyers filed a letter with the appellate court in D.C. one day after Jack Smith filed this New York court pleading that had 275 pages worth of threats that had been transcribed from phone calls that were received after Donald Trump posted something attacking Judge Engoron's law clerk. And here is some of what Donald Trump's lawyers said. They rested on the assertion that, well, Mr. Trump did not directly threaten Miss Greenfield. And then in the very next paragraph, they go on to attack Judge Engoron's law clerk, Miss Greenfield. And then they move on to telling the appellate court that special counsel Jack Smith has brought an inflammatory, lawless indictment. Okay, friends, let's take on Donald Trump's defense attorney's central argument that Donald Trump never directly threatened anyone. This broken peg is what Donald Trump's lawyers keep trying to hang their argument on. Why do I say it's a broken peg? Because it's already been rejected by the appellate court judges who heard the oral arguments in the gag order case in Washington, D.C. I was in court last Monday. I attended the oral argument, and I heard Judge Millet, who was one of the 3 appellate court judges presiding, I heard her say the following to Donald Trump's lawyers. She said there's a clear pattern. Donald Trump issues statements and witness threats follow. And we can go back a couple of years and see evidence of that clear pattern. Remember January 6th when Donald Trump was desperately trying to cling to presidential power even though he lost the election? What did he tweet out about his vice president? Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what was necessary, in other words, to keep him, Donald Trump, in power. Was that a direct threat? Donald Trump didn't threaten Mike Pence. He simply told his supporters that Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done. What happened? Donald Trump's foot soldiers instantly erupted into chants of hang Mike Pence, and they hunted for Mike Pence. So when Donald Trump's defense lawyers fall back on, whoa, Donald Trump never directly threatened anyone, yeah, that dog won't hunt. And the appellate court judges told Trump's lawyers as much in the oral argument. So now, friends, we wait. We wait to see what the appellate court in D.C. does with Judge Tanya Chutkan's gag order of Donald Trump. And we wait to see what the appellate court in New York does with Judge Engoron's gag order of Donald Trump. Will they let Donald Trump continue to endanger with impunity everyone who was involved in the endeavor of trying to hold Donald Trump accountable for his crimes? Let's hope not, because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe, please stay tuned, and I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.